Caitlin, I am super excited to get into your energetic signature reading. And so when I went into your energy field, I saw a catfish and it had these really cute whiskers. In shamanism, catfish are representative of having very astute, intuitive abilities. They are able to go through the murkiness and still come out on the other side. And so they're able to see what others are not always able to. And you are highly intuitive, and your higher self said you learned how to become this way through swimming through the shadows. And so that's the shadow self, okay? Through traversing through our self-limiting beliefs, PTSD, trauma, programming, distortion lenses, and filters from, religion or cultural things or societal things. Your higher self, though, said just because we have always been a catfish doesn't mean that we have to be that in the future. The reason she was saying that is because you are in the middle of an identity shift right now. You've probably been experiencing like a lot of emotions coming up recently. It probably feels like a bit of a dark night of the soul, but not probably as intense of ones that you have been through previously, but kind of paradigms collapsing within. You may have been feeling kind of like off, not quite yourself. Your higher self said that we need to do an avatar change. Okay, there has been this very specific version of Caitlin for many years, like most of your life, and you're ready to become this updated version. But sometimes that can be really intense and feel kind of scary and can make you feel like a distorted version of self, because it's like this new version of you is trying to come in, but your old version is not quite ready for the changeover. Because when I'm looking at my notes, because when I was talking to this younger version of you that you are, I'm going to use the words pulling away from, we're not getting rid of her. Okay, we love her. We just need her to come onto the new timeline with us as a new self. She said, I don't want to switch because that's what gave birth to my gifts in the first place, being the catfish and swimming through the shadows. And your higher self came in and said, no, you've always had the gifts, okay? It helped you strengthen them, okay, swimming through the shadows, but now it's time to see them in a different perspective. And I want to make sure I read exactly what she said. She said, it's time to release the shadow walker identity to call in anew. Your higher self said that you have always felt comfort in heavy energies. And that totally makes sense, because as Lightworkers and empaths, that's usually where we reside, okay, in the heavier stuff because of PTSD and trauma and programming and all those different things. But your higher self was saying, hey, that time, that chapter of our life, like we're done with that. Okay, not that life, doesn't have the heavy things that come up, but like not so heavy, okay, because you've done so much healing on yourself and went on this like incredibly deep self-awareness journey, self-love journey, that now we're kind of holding on to the heaviness because it's what we're accustomed to, is what we're used to, but it's not allowing you to shift up in frequency. Okay, so then I saw an octopus come forward, which love that, okay? And that's representative in this context of having all of these different avatars that you can switch in and out of. And one of them that I saw your energy body, but you were an angel. So beautiful, gorgeous, huge wings. And I saw you go like this with your fingers, and then a diamond formed in the middle, and it was so crystal clear, and then you pulled it up like this and you were looking through it, and you said, this is my avatar of being able to see with clarity and precision, okay, not having to look through all of the murkiness to traverse through life. Then you morphed into this other identity, and you had this really like skin tight, purple, shimmery, almost translucent dress on. It was giving very much divine feminine energy, very like slinky, okay? And this version of you was named Giselle, which I thought was very interesting. But her name is Giselle, and she's probably a different timeline version of you, just like the angel. When I was speaking with her, it was so funny because her body started to disappear, like her actual physical vessel, and then all I could see was her meridian lines running throughout her, and they turned like this beautiful red, orange, glowy energy. And she said, I hold the Sophia codes. Okay, so Sophia is the original divine feminine energy. Okay, that is giving very much creatrix. She said that she is here to teach you how to manifest differently, but not just manifest, like live like life. Because I would bet that you've probably been in a lot of your masculine energy for most of your life, but she said there's a difference in you moving towards life. It's moving towards you and through you. Then I saw her walking towards a church. So I don't know if you grew up with like religious context when you were younger, but I saw her working towards a church, and then she turned around like away from the church, not necessarily like denouncing it or anything, and she turned into Mary Magdalene, which I thought was absolutely beautiful. Mary Magdalene is in the same wheelhouse as Sophia, okay? But the reason that she was turning away from the church is because your higher self was like, not Mary Magdalene that is depicted in religious cultures, okay? Mary Magdalene as her own like identity, like outside of all of that. So if you're going to research about her, specifically Mary Magdalene, you want to do that within a spiritual context. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in esotericism, because you're going to get a very different vibe and different story. So you have some mentors that are wanting to come forward and help you during this time. Okay, so Giselle, this angel version of you, and then also Mary Magdalene. And so it would be great for you to develop this in doing research about Mary Magdalene and Sophia, and also creatrix energy, as well as divine feminine energy and dark feminine energy. Those are two different frequencies, but two different sides of the same coin. And then also continuing to work with this identity that you are changing out, okay, and not having to be this catfish forever. Going through the murky waters and helping her understand, like, yes, this is what strengthened our gifts, and it's one way to look at them, but we've always had these gifts underneath all of that. Okay, we just chose to come here and have a very specific experience so we could help people in a very specific way, but that doesn't mean that that has to be our forever story and our forever narrative. We can also have one of ease and grace. Okay, and that is a lot lighter in frequencies and seeing with more precision and clarity without all the murkiness. And I want to thank you so much for letting me read for you, and I hope you have a very magical day.